Olá pessoal, you may have seen the word ser being used here, there, in different parts of the sentence. What does ser really mean? In today's lesson, we will learn and practice ser being used as a pronoun. Today's lesson is the second part of a series where the different meanings and uses of ser are being covered. In the first video, link below in case you missed it, in the first video of this series, you learned that se is equivalent to if in conditionals. In today's lesson, you will learn that se is an object pronoun. Yes, that is used with reflexive verbs. Check it out. Oh, he cut his finger. Ele cortou seu dedo. We know what he cut, his finger. Ele cortou seu dedo. Now, if I want to say that he cut himself, not his finger, he cut himself. In Portuguese, ele se cortou. Ele se cortou. Se here is an object pronoun that is referring back to ele. Ele se cortou. Ele se cortou. These are the object pronouns used with reflexive verbs in Portuguese that translate to myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Em português, eu me, você se, ele se, ela se. Nós, nos, vocês se, eles se, elas se. As you can see, the object pronoun se is used with você, ele, ela, vocês, eles, elas. Oh, and don't forget a gente se. So, for example, if I want to say, oh, you cut yourself. Você se cortou. Você se cortou. Ele se cortou. Ela se cortou. Vocês se cortaram. Eles se cortaram. Elas se cortaram. What a tragedy. When it comes to where place object pronouns in a sentence, in Brazilian Portuguese, we prefer to place them before the main verb. Will you see them placed after the main verb? Yes, you will. Will Brazilians place them after the main verb when talking to you? No, we won't. I mean, rarely, but we prefer to place object pronouns before the main verb. For example, ele cortou-se enquanto cozinhava. You will read this in books, grammar books, formal speech, but Brazilians will prefer in spoken language, in formal language, ele se cortou enquanto cozinhava. Ele se cortou enquanto cozinhava. Another example. Have you hurt yourself? Machucou-se. You will see this in books, grammar books, formal speech. But in informal language and spoken language, Brazilians prefer to place the object pronouns before the main verb. Se machucou. Se machucou. Now, this is how we speak and write informally. Write this down if you plan to take a test or write more formal texts, articles. Avoid starting sentences with object pronouns. Avoid this. Don't write se machucou. No. Please write machucou-se. Or you can even insert a personal pronoun instead of se machucou. Você se machucou? Você se machucou? But avoid starting sentences or questions with object pronouns. Moving on. When it comes to verbs that are used in the reflexive form, bear in mind that Portuguese and English are different languages. Yes, some reflexive verbs in Portuguese may not be reflexive verbs in English. For example, to worry. To worry is a reflexive verb in Portuguese when you worry when you are the one who worries about something. For example, oh, you worry too much about your friends. In Portuguese, it's reflexive. Você se preocupa. Você se preocupa muito com seus amigos. Você se preocupa muito com seus amigos. Não se preocupe tanto com os outros. Não se preocupe tanto com os outros. Se preocupe mais com você. Se preocupe mais com você. Remember what I said about starting a sentence with object pronouns? I know you do. You're taking notes, huh? Another verb that is commonly used in the reflexive form in Portuguese but not in English is the verb to graduate. In Portuguese, formar-se. Formar-se. She will graduate this month. Ela vai se formar este mês. Ela vai se formar este mês. Ela vai se formar em processamento de dados. See, the object pronoun was placed before the main verb. So you have just seen two examples of verbs in Portuguese that are reflexive in Portuguese but are not in English. And in Portuguese, they are reflexive by convention. Below is the link to a lesson where you can learn some other verbs that take the reflexive pronoun in Portuguese by convention. Finally, the object pronoun se is used in sentences where there is reciprocal meaning. Yes, when the subject is plural, se can have a reciprocal meaning. For example, he met her 2 years ago. She met him 2 years ago. They met each other 2 years ago. Eles se conheceram há 2 anos. Eles se conheceram há 2 anos. Oh, and they fell in love with each other. Eles se apaixonaram. Eles se apaixonaram. Eles ainda não se casaram. Eles ainda não se casaram. Se eles se casarem, vou precisar comprar um presente para eles. Se eles se casarem. This is a good example where se is being used as if and an object pronoun. Se eles se casarem. If you want to see other examples where se is used as an object pronoun, watch that lesson and tell me later what you learned. Thank you for watching another lesson and see you next time. Até a próxima. And write a few examples in the comment section so that I can give you some feedback. Bye.